Welcome to the WatchWell Podcast. Nick, we are live.
Yeah, it's a first learning experience already, but this is cool.
We are live. So we thought that we would go live. We posted our 21st episode.
So hold on, along with this learning experience, either we got a lag or
There's a lag.
Facebook hasn't caught up to us, or it's not.
Okay,
So I'm trying to look at it to see what happens, but
here we go. Let's see what happens here. There it is. There's a lag.
okay. So you got it? It's ready? Now people are going to have to hear this conversation after we've already had it.
Yep.
Okay, I see it. We're good.
We're good. All right.
Yeah, we're
learning
good to
curve. Learning curve.
Yep.
So 21 episodes.
21. Yep.
21 episodes. It's been fun.
Yeah.
It's been a lot of fun. So real quick, before we get going, I wanted to shout out social media. I want to shout out those listening on Facebook, and let everyone know on Facebook how many. We talked about it earlier. How many follows?
It was I think I looked and it was 127. 127 followers on
127.
Facebook.
And then we're at 67
subscribers
on YouTube. So if you happen to be on Facebook listening, or if you are on YouTube listening to this, the biggest thing that you can do to help us is to share the podcast.
For sure.
A simple way to do that is to post a link of your favorite episodes, or some of your favorite episodes on your Facebook page.
Yeah, and I've even had people tell me, like, in person,
Yeah.
that they like the podcast. So if you're a person who enjoys what we do, then it'd be really helpful to get it in front of more people so that hopefully we can have a broader impact, broader reach.
Impact,
and so our goal is to reach people with the gospel, to help Christians, but then also non-Christians. We want people to view stories and view everything really through the lens of truth, and we want to equip people and help them to do that.
Absolutely. One thing that you can do if you are listening to this on the audio podcast is to rate the episodes, rate the podcast by clicking the stars, giving us a 5-star review. I mean, I guess if you don't like it, just don't leave us a review. But if you do have that episode that
we don't want any. I mean, maybe that'd be fun and entertaining to hear the 1-star or no star reviews,
right,
nagging on us or whatever. But
but yeah, that helps the algorithms. It helps us get pushed to new people if people like the content. So let's see, what else do I have written down here? I think that pretty much does it. If you are on YouTube and you prefer Rumble, we also stream. I'm sorry, not stream, but we post all these to Rumble. I'm sure Rumble streams will be in the future, but we figured we would start with Facebook and YouTube first. So with all of that being said, the only other thing I guess would be if you want to support the podcast financially, we do have a Patreon link that will be in the description once this goes to YouTube, and on the audio.
Yeah.
The audio version. So now that we got all that out of the way,
yeah, the housekeeping,
we do want to thank you guys for listening and your support. It does mean a lot. We have a lot of fun with this podcast, and we really do want to teach people to look through life and view stories through the lens of truth, so that we could be a Christian all the time and not just on Sundays.
And being live this time is not the only difference. This is the second time we're in person. We're actually sitting.
I can see you.
Yeah, I don't know if you can tell it from the stream, but we're actually sitting directly across from each other.
Yeah.
And so it's nice. This is good. Yeah.
In person is better than
first time since July. Was it July?
It was what is a woman?
Right.
So whenever that came out, July. So speaking of what is a woman, what is your favorite episode so far?
My favorite episode of our it has to be the Inception episode. So we reviewed the movie Inception from the movies from 2010. The episode title is "Furthering Self-Indulgence Leads to Hell."
Mm-hmm.
So that's the episode title. I think that's my favorite episode. There's just even if we weren't doing what we're doing, even if we weren't watching stories through the lens of truth and trying to help people view it through that lens, that movie is just so deep, and there's so much discussion that can happen just from watching that movie. And honestly, at least in my mind, that might be the movie that gave birth to the idea of this podcast. It's kind of weird that it kind of happened. The episode was a little bit later, but conversations surrounding that movie are really what kind of gave birth to the idea that eventually became the WatchWell podcast. But so I would say that one. What about you?
Oh, that's so tough. I do think that I have to go with What is a Woman.
That was your favorite?
I think that has to be my favorite podcast that we've done so far, because I think it was a really, really good example of almost doing a perfect job when talking about truth.
You mean the film itself was, or our episode was?
The film itself.
Okay.
Yeah, I think Matt Walsh did a phenomenal job, but he just didn't quite go all the way.
Mm-hmm.
He didn't quite talk from the authority of Scripture.
Yeah.
He didn't use the authority of Scripture, but all of his arguments were pretty flawless from the point of view of no God.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I would say that.
But so like would you agree that his flaw was he was trying to present an argument while remaining neutral about
Correct.
God?
Yeah.
Which is impossible. We know that's impossible. You can't be neutral.
Can't be neutral.
There's no such thing as that. But you can claim to be, you can try to be, but there's not.
There's no
but
neutral.
From that perspective, if you're arguing from that perspective, he did a good job.
He did very good job.
Yeah.
Very, very good job.
The snarkiness, the
the sarcasm.
Yes.
Yeah,
That's
sarcasm.
Sarcasm, yeah.
I mean, even to the point of, showing the fool his feet,
Mm-hmm.
I think that he did a very good job of just letting the opposition soak in the inability to be coherent with their belief.
Yeah, for sure.
If that makes any sense. So if you guys are listening so far, we are live, and if you want to leave a comment down below, we can answer questions and do whatever. I think we have one person watching on YouTube and one person on Facebook. So, I would say What is a Woman would be my favorite.
Okay. Do you have any close seconds?
Close seconds, maybe. I think Avatar was pretty fun.
Yeah.
Avatar was pretty fun.
Which our plan is to, when it comes out in theaters, to go see it and then do a review.
Yeah, we're gonna do Avatar 2
as soon as we can.
Is it something water or of the sea?
Way of water or way of the water? I don't know if there's
I
don't know if the is in there, but
yeah.
Which I don't know. Like so this could be a good question. So one of the things we said about Avatar, the first one, Pocahontas, right? Pocahontas in space,
Right. Yep.
What will Avatar: Way of the Water be? Will it actually be an original story? Do you think? Like,
well, can you get original after you've already kind of ripped off? And
I don't know. I guess that's the question.
I would.
And if it's not,
it's just going to be it's just going to be
rip off?
It's going to be a furthering. So it'd be like if John Smith went back to.
There's a Pocahontas too.
There is a Pocahontas.
Yeah, it was.
But didn't Pocahontas go to England?
Yeah.
But this is
so the Na'vi don't come to Earth.
No.
That'd be kind of cool though.
That would be.
Could you imagine?
That may be a better movie.
Yeah. Maybe they do.
But it would also be unoriginal.
Yeah, it would also be unoriginal. So I guess that's the question. Do you think, because in one aspect, Avatar was absolutely groundbreaking, just not story. Okay. Story is not that aspect.
But okay, so let me throw this in there too. So our claim would be that the WatchWell podcast, viewing the lens through truth, because we're made in the image of God, we have that story written on our heart, right?
Yeah.
Is there a such thing as an original story?
Well, yeah, I think there's still original because, I mean, original in the sense that, you know, a cabinet maker makes a different cabinet than another cabinet maker, but it's still a cabinet.
But the heart of the stories can still ring true.
The heart of the stories can still ring true, the purpose of it and all of that. I'm just saying, when it comes to Avatar, like beat for beat, we even made the joke of we could go through both movies and then just watch them side by side. Avatar is a lot longer, but I mean, you could just watch them side by side and you're basically watching the same story unfold exactly.
Yeah, one just has more bow and arrows and the other one has more explosions.
Right. Yeah. And
Yeah.
big, instead of old-fashioned ships, it's got, you know,
Spaceships.
big space shuttles and cool-looking helicopters and all of that stuff, and blue people instead of Native Americans. And
yeah, I don't know. I mean, I'm assuming that they're going to go back for unobtainium. That'd make the only
they
sense.
find a reserve of it in the oceans of Pandora.
Yeah, but if you look on IMDb, and I can't remember, I'm kind of forgetting in Avatar the Colonel.
I don't know, is Park?
Well,
No, the Colonel, not Parker.
Giovanni Ribisi plays Parker.
Yeah.
I can't remember his name.
I don't remember.
But anyway, that guy is coming back.
Stephen Lang.
Yeah, the guy that character is coming back in the second movie.
Yeah.
Didn't he die in the first one?
They made it look like he did.
Yeah, but they always make it look.
Yeah, this is it'll also be interesting to see how far separate. So it's 13 years in real time, but I wonder how far in the future the movie will be set.
Yeah, that'll be interesting too. And then we got to talk about 13 Hours.
Okay.
I like that one.
Yeah.
I mean, it's one of my all-time favorite movies. The Secret Soldiers of Benghazi. It's just such a great movie.
Yeah.
Really well done. Michael Bay.
You can't say a lot of Michael Bay movies are just really well done.
Well, no, for the last 13 years, he's been doing Transformers. He's gotten like 27 of them done, right?
Yeah.
No, but I think one of the scenes in that movie, and I'm going to butcher this quote because I don't have it memorized, so forgive me if you put a comment down below correcting me or fact-checking me on this.
All of the gods, all the devils.
All the hells are within you.
Yeah.
It's such a great quote.
Yeah.
And it really takes me back to Romans, where, it's not the sin within me. It's not I who sin. It's that verse, and I'm blanking on what it is. I don't have my Bible in front of me, but or it's not me that sins. It's the sin living in me, and that just internal war of flesh and spirit that's just continuing to battle. We don't want to sin, but it's so appealing, and I think a lot of people relate to that because we just sit in it, and it's like, why is this so hard? But obviously through grace, we're able to choose righteousness. But it is hard, man.
Yeah, we talked about. There was a lot that came up. You were super prepared for that one. You had slides and everything ready to go.
I even wore my my shirt that has Oz, the character that I think Mark Geist is his full name, through Grunt Style T-shirts.
Okay.
They partnered with him and made him a shirt, and I even wore that shirt.
Nice.
I tried to hang my guns on the wall too, but I don't have hangers for that. So.
Didn't you have one? I think you put one on a shelf, didn't you?
I may.
Or did you not?
I think I put one on the shelf.
Your room was probably flipped the other way when we did that episode because you've
rearranged this room like 7 times.
Yeah. But yeah, that was a good one. I enjoyed that one. We talked about voting and leadership and everybody from The Office.
Yep.
John Krasinski and then the guy that was
they just all got so sick of Michael Scott they had to go kill terrorists in the movie.
Jim, Roy, and then the insurance guy, right? From the episode after they were bought by
You're right. Yeah. The insurance adjuster or whatever he was.
Yeah.
That's funny.
Yeah.
The Office. That was a fun one.
Yeah. Got our first experience with copyright claims and how that all works out.
If anybody has any advice on that, let us know.
Yeah.
We're still trying to navigate fair use and understand all of that. So it's still a learning.
And the weird thing about that is not even necessarily just fair use. It's YouTube's version
of fair use.
Because
it's very vague.
Yeah.
But we'll figure it out.
Yeah. And we don't know. We have no idea how to do it differently than what we did.
Yeah.
So But it is what it is.
Hey.
It's enjoyable.
It is enjoyable. It's
The
a lot
Office
of
is-
fun.
Yeah.
It's a great show. It's fun.
So what about some? Are there any movies that you love, whether they're upcoming new movies that haven't been released yet, or recent or older ones? Would you like to do an episode on in the future? And if you're in the comments and you hear this, feel free to post any ideas you have. But what are some? Is there anything that comes to mind of a movie you'd like to review for a future episode?
Outside of the 6 or 7 that we've already got planned.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we got a schedule, right? We got to have a schedule.
We do. Excuse me. Let's see. Movies. I think The Patriot would be a good one.
Okay. Mel Gibson.
Yep. Take it back to old school days. I'm trying to think of one that we may disagree on because we got a lot of downloads and views on the Avatar episode. Or no, I'm sorry, A Quiet Place.
Yeah.
And we disagreed about waterfalls on that one.
Yeah. What other one? There was another movie we disagreed about a lot. Sing.
Oh.
That
about
for a while.
About husbands, right?
Yeah, I don't know where it stands now, but for a while that was our most downloaded.
It was for at least 3 months. I mean, it was, yeah.
And we argued in that one. And my wife, when she listens, she always gets frustrated with those. It's funny. Yeah. But so what movie did you just say?
The Patriot.
The Patriot
would be good. I'm trying to think of an interesting one. It'd be great if we had audience members help us out on this.
Yeah. So far, we've only reviewed movies that. So, like, even though there were aspects of Sing that you didn't like, you thought it was funny and entertaining.
Yeah, I thought it was a decent movie.
Yeah. So,
like for a kids movie, yeah.
But so far, we've only reviewed movies. We haven't reviewed something that we would call a bad movie.
No, I actually did have an audience member request one. They actually texted me.
Okay.
Yeah, and they said the deal was that if we could successfully do this movie, he would give me $1.
Okay.
Yeah, so I want to shout out my buddy Brody.
What movie?
Napoleon Dynamite.
Oh, we can, oh yeah. Oh yeah. We can do that.
Yeah, not I don't think that one's that hard.
Yeah, we can do that. It's been I don't even remember when did that even come out?
Oh, I don't know. We'd have to look it up. I mean, what? Early 2000s?
Early 2000s. Yeah, at least 20 years ago, I would think.
But I think they filmed it in a day.
Not surprised. I know a lot of that would be the first movie that we review that I think is a bad movie.
It's a bad movie.
Yeah, I know a lot of people that love it.
Isn't the reason why it's so beloved that isn't it the reason why it's so loved it's because it's bad?
I don't know. It's definitely not my kind of humor, but we can do it. I'm sure we can do it. If we can figure out where to watch it.
Yeah. So I think challenge accepted.
Yeah, we'll do it.
Yeah, we'll do it
after the 6 that we have scheduled.
Yeah, we'll do it at the turn of the new year.
Yeah. So we'll do A Quiet Place 2, Home Alone 2,
Avatar's in there.
The Santa Claus, I think. Elf.
Oh, what do you think about that? Let's talk about that for a little bit. So, Tim Allen's coming back to be Santa again.
We tried to start watching it the other night.
Yeah, is it on Disney Plus?
It is.
Yeah.
So you won't be watching it.
I won't be watching it.
But it's Tim Allen.
It's Tim Allen.
You'd appreciate some of the jokes that he makes in there.
Yeah, but Tim Allen, I can watch his stuff.
But you'd have to get Disney Plus.
We'll figure it out. We'll figure it out. We'll figure it out.
Yeah.
But it's gonna turn into a show.
It is. Yeah. We watched episode 1.
Oh, so it's already a show.
It's up there. We watched episode 1 a couple nights ago.
Wait, so there's not a movie?
No, there's not a new movie.
See, I thought there was going to be a 4th movie, and then the 4th movie was going to start the show.
Nope.
That's
it
what
was.
I thought.
Yeah. So the first, you just have the original. What is it? 3 movies, I think, is how many there are of the Santa Claus, and then the new series just came up this week sometime. We started watching it. It's really, really. So, Santa Claus, the Santa Claus.
Yeah.
Should have been the end of the entire series.
Well, see, that's interesting because as a kid, I loved the second one.
Really? Yeah. I could see where kids would like it.
The second one was my favorite.
Yeah.
But now that I'm older, the first one I think is the best.
Yeah.
because Charlie is a kid, and Bernard, and what's the other elf's name?
I don't remember any of the elf's names.
It was Bernard was the head elf, and then
he's not in, or at least hasn't been.
No, I think because he wasn't in the second one, because the younger elf became the head elf.
Okay.
Curtis, that's his name. Curtis.
Okay.
So it's Bernard is the head elf in the first movie. Curtis becomes the head elf in the second and third movies. Yeah. But I liked the second one.
Yeah.
I think it was the second one. Which is the second one with Jack Frost, or is that the third one? I think that's the third.
That's
one.
probably the third one.
The second one
it's
is
been a
when
long
Charlie's
time.
in detention and
Yeah.
graffiti and with the Principal Newman, and then they get married at the end. Yeah, that's it. Because then the third one is with Jack Frost.
Yeah.
And they have to bring their parents to the North Pole.
Yeah. See, I don't remember them that well. I remember the first one really, really well. I don't remember the other two very well. But the series is just, I'm noticing a trend with like these high budget series that are coming to streaming services where the image, like the look of, I don't know if you want to call it cinematography, because I don't think it's necessarily that, but the image just looks washed out.
Oh, so it's like low saturation?
Yeah. And I saw it. I started watching, and I don't know that I would recommend this show, but I did start watching it. The show Tulsa King.
Never even heard of it.
It's got Sylvester Stallone as a mob boss who gets banished to Tulsa, Oklahoma, and it's the creator of the show is the same guy that created Yellowstone.
Okay.
Taylor Sheridan.
Yep.
So I started to watch it to see what
I love that show.
Yeah, I started watching it, and it's like it looks too fake. It's real, like it's real people, but it just, I don't know, it just doesn't look, the image doesn't look attractive whatsoever.
Is it like creative?
Bad. What do you mean?
Like the way the coloring is done, is it more of like a creative effect, or is it?
I don't know if they did it on purpose. I'm just, it very well could be. I have no idea. It just, to me, it looks like, I don't know, it just looks washed out. And maybe they did do it on purpose, but I see it in the Santa Claus too, the series.
It's interesting.
Like the TV series. And I don't know if it's a trend across streaming services, because I can't think of anything else off the top of my head that I've seen it on, but
interesting.
I don't know, it just didn't draw me in. Like when you watch Yellowstone, for example, it's like beautiful landscape and
colors
things like
are
that.
deep.
Yeah. And it, like, the image, even if you don't like the show, you can appreciate the image that it's showing, like that it's displaying.
Right. Absolutely.
And you just couldn't with the Santa Claus series or that Tulsa King series. But yeah, so after we get through all of those, we'll go with Napoleon Dynamite.
That'll be a fun one.
Yeah. There is a TV series called Under the Banner of Heaven.
Okay, heard of it.
Yeah. It's based on a book, and it's based on true events. Some of the names in the TV series have changed. About murders, a group of Mormons who become basically Mormon extremists. So they buy into polygamy and like take any Mormon belief and take it to the absolute extreme. That's this group of people, and they murdered some family members and some people that they knew from the Mormon church that excommunicated them or took part in them being excommunicated from the Mormon church. And the detective in the series is, and I don't know if this aspect of it's true, but in the series, the detective is also a Mormon. So he has to wrestle with his own faith while hunting and investigating these other people claiming to be Mormons. So a lot of the Mormon belief system comes into question through his journey while he's investigating. It's like he's investigating these murders and then simultaneously investigating the Mormon faith. So a lot of deep questions come up.
So it sounds a little bit like A Case for Christ.
Yes, with the opposite conclusion though.
Right.
So yeah, it's really good. And
well, I mean, when I say that, I didn't mean didn't mean pitting them together in terms of like the truth in the faith. I meant more of like you're putting it on literally on trial. More legal standings of proof beyond a reasonable doubt, which is what convincing, which is what being convinced hinges on.
Right. And so there's one point where, and I'm not going to answer this question right now, and I don't really want to go into it because I do want to review that at some point on an episode, but just to maybe give a teaser, there's one point in the series where one of the detectives who's working with the main guy, they come out to this vast, to this lake, and they're looking out, and it's just like this beautiful landscape. And so they look out, and the guy says, if God isn't real, is this any less beautiful?
Interesting.
So I'm just going to leave it at that, because that's the type of thing that series explores, and we can talk about that forever, I think.
Yeah.
That would make a really good episode to answer that, because we can answer that question, right? We can provide an answer to that question. And so is that true? If God isn't here, is this landscape any less like beauty? Is beauty any less real? And so, I mean, that's the question that we're gonna.
Interesting.
Eventually, when we get to that, we'll talk about that.
Yeah, I haven't heard much about it other than what you've told me now, and it sounds like a good one to do.
Yeah, it's hard to watch. It's very hard to watch because there's one of the victims was a child, so it's really hard to watch. But it's a really good show.
Is it? You said it's episode based?
Yeah, I think it's 7 episodes.
Okay, so it's like a mini kind of series thing. That's cool. Let's see. How do you want to wrap this up?
I don't know. Do you have?
Let's go with least favorite episode so far.
Are we allowed to do that with our own podcast? Hey, don't go listen to this episode.
It promotes transparency.
Oh man,
that was tough. See, I can't even say one of our first episodes because Fences I thought was great.
Yeah,
I thought it was really good.
So one thing on Fences, I don't even know if you know this, but I miscited scripture. I said it was a verse and it wasn't that verse. It was a different verse before it. And
so we're correcting.
So yeah, I'm not really correcting because I can't remember which one it was. It was Ephesians, something about, Ephesians chapter. It was in Ephesians 6, but I can't remember the exact verse off the top of my head. But I misquoted it in that episode and didn't notice it until later, because I just had a typo on my notes that I was going off of for that episode, and I just said it exactly the way it was on my notes. Didn't think about it, and it was actually wrong. I don't know if anyone else has noticed that, but when I went and listened back, I was like, "Oh man,
bummer."
Yeah, got that wrong. But that's not my least favorite episode. Man,
I kind of want to pull them up. Let's see.
I feel like
don't forget if you're listening to this on Facebook or YouTube Live, one of the things that we asked at the beginning of the episode was for the viewers to share their favorite episodes to 5 people or post it on their Facebook page to get
and you can share it to like 400 people, right?
Share it to a lot of people that way. So if you could do that for us, that would be really great. We want to keep reaching people with the gospel, teaching people how to view stories through the lens of truth. I'm pulling up our content now, unless you already have it, Nick.
I might. I do.
You got it?
Yeah. It's hard to pick. I really don't know.
It's really hard because Free Guy was good, King Richard was good. Maybe I'd have to go with that one because it was more about Will Smith slapping the.
We did talk about that for a while.
The bejesus out of Chris Rock. What was it? The Grammys. Oscars?
No, it would have been the Oscars.
Oscars. It would have been the Oscars.
Yeah.
Everything else I think was pretty good.
We went on a long tangent on that one too.
Yeah, we did.
So, and I would say I really enjoyed our movie review of A Quiet Place.
Yeah.
Because I think that movie really, I think we said it in the review, like I don't know that any movie really displays the gospel right there at its forefront more than that one.
Yeah.
Without trying to. Like, it definitely wasn't the purpose of the movie, I don't think. But
it's
we
just
probably could have, I guess on that episode, I don't know if it's my least favorite. I don't think I'm going to be able to pick one that's just like my least favorite. But just maybe something I would change is to maybe spend some more time on that particular movie, which we'll have an opportunity to do, I think.
So I've heard really good reviews about Dune.
That's good. I saw that in theaters.
I've never seen it, and
It's good.
And I think that might be a good one to do.
Yeah.
I've never seen it, but I've just heard from my brother Cody, and
I thought you wouldn't trust his reviews.
Oh, well, I don't, because he thinks every movie's good. But this one particularly, he's been pretty consistent saying that it's good. And I mean, my sister got all the books.
Yeah, they are. Yeah, Dune was good. There's a sequel coming out sometime soon.
Part 2.
Maybe
it's
next
in
year.
2023.
Yeah.
I can't remember what month, but it's like summer, I think.
Yeah. Special effects are incredible. Like, it's...
Is it?
Yeah, it's really good.
So, all right. Well, we can wrap this up. For those tuning in, for those listening, thanks again. Don't forget to post on your page. We really want to keep reaching others. We thank you for listening, and we will catch you later. Stay tuned for A Quiet Place Part 2.
Mm-hmm.
At the next one.
Yep.
And we will have that coming up next week. And then after that, we're going to start getting into the Christmas movies. So again, we thank you guys. We appreciate the support, and we'll catch you later.